let's try this again. Hopefully everybody can hear me now. Sorry, it's one of those days we're having a little technical difficulty here on this end, but hopefully you've hung with us and you're listening in. I'm Mike. I'm the Chief Product Officer here at Mag Plus, and what I'm going to walk you through today in this webinar is some of the new features and new things we've rolled out this week with our big 3.0 update. Lots of exciting, cool new stuff in the platform. So I'm going to walk you through what some of those new features are, how you can take advantage of them, how to use them out in the InDesign plugin, and then at the end I'll talk to some of the new pricing options we've rolled out this week as well. So in addition to cool new features within the platform, we've got some new ways to get into the platform. So hopefully it makes it even easier for everybody to go out and start publishing their great ideas on magplus.com. So what we're looking at here in the on my screen is the Mag Plus Reviewer. Now we will have an update for the Reviewer as well to bring it up to the new 3.0. We're just waiting for Apple to approve that now. As you know, the Apple approval process takes its time. So as soon as that gets approved by Apple, we'll let you know, and you'll get an update on your iPad as well to go out and update that to 3.0 so you can start building things with the new plugin and see them out in the Reviewer app and take advantage of those new features. Now, of course, you can keep using the plugins you already have. You can even download the new plugins and build with those and update everything as well. Just publish to a 2.5 MIB, which is the current version of the Reviewer, until you get that 3.0 update in there. The first thing I want to show you, and really the most visible thing you'll see in the new 3.0 system, is that we've changed the menu a little bit. We've done some refresh on the icons in here, and we've added a couple of new spaces to it. We've also upgraded what we call the scrubber, or the navigation bar down here at the bottom, to make that a little bit more functional as well. So this is the Reviewer we're looking at here. I'm going to jump out and open a real app and show you what this looks like. We just did a little test build of Popular Science here to be able to show you in a real app what this will look like. Now, one thing that is really exciting, and I think a lot of you will really appreciate, is that the way you can call up the menu has changed a little bit as well. The long press, which is to say holding your finger on the screen for a second or so, still works, but we've also added a much simpler single tap. So just tapping the screen once anywhere that's not a link or dedicated to something else will bring up this navigation bar. Hopefully a much more intuitive way for you and all your users to get into this menu system. So let's look at the scrubber down here first. We've still got little thumbnail previews of all the pages down here, but we've added a few more things to just really help the reader figure out where they are. You can see at the top we've added the name of the issue that they're currently reading, and that's set out in the production tool. And let me just jump into that so I can show you where you set that. Here in the name of the issue is where that is set, and that'll show up there. And then we've also got the name of the vertical that the person is currently reading. So if I jump out into InDesign, you'll see here in the InDesign plugin we've always had this vertical ID, which is sort of the internal reference, and also the vertical name. And that name is what people in the past would see when they would bookmark a page. So we've always said, make sure you write something there that makes sense and that readers will understand. Now that's even more important because they're going to see it here in their scrubber. So the name of the page or the name of that story. We've also added here the page number or the vertical number out of the total number of verticals in that issue. So again, it just really helps readers kind of understand, hey, this is a 66 vertical issue and I'm near the beginning here. Finally, down at the bottom, we've added this scroll bar. So the point of this is to allow people to really quickly get from the front to the back of the issue. In the past, you had to sit and swipe this way with your finger, and you'll see that scroll bar moves to show me the relative position front to back where I am. The little arrows you see here are what vertical is currently on the screen. So I'm at the beginning of it, but let's say I want to jump all the way to the last page. Instead of scrolling, I can just grab this scroll bar. Again, it pops up with that vertical number, so I know, all right, now I'm about a third of the way through. I drag this all the way to the end quickly, and there I am on 66. So again, I just tap it, brings up that vertical, tap the screen again, and I can go back to reading. Now if we turn our attention to the menu up at the top, this is the spot I was mentioning. We've done some redesign of the icons up here. Still all the same familiar ones you've had before. We've got a help issue here. We've got our live button, which is optional and can open up a website, can pop up in a browser window on top of the page. So with Popular Science, we go straight to their Twitter feed, but of course that can be anything you want it to be. I tap the screen to call this back up again. Our bookmarks are still there, and our beautiful designed contents is still up here as well. In addition, there's a couple of new icons out here which we hope will really help readers understand where their issues are and how to get more. We've added a dedicated store and library space. So if I go out to the store here, you can see that it's going out to the server, it's fetching all the new information to find out what's available. Now here in this store, because I have many of the issues already on the device, the store is only going to show me things that are for sale that I don't already own as a user. So there's no confusion about, am I buying things here, am I opening things here? The store is really just where you buy and where you buy things as a user. We've added a little bit of extra text here for you to be able to describe the issue, or in this case the subscriptions. If you offer subscriptions, PopSci offers both an annual and a monthly. If you offer subscriptions through the iTunes subscription system, they always appear at the beginning of the store interface. So the issues would appear down below and the subscriptions appear here at the top. If I jump into the library space, you'll see now I've got this beautiful full screen grid view of all of the issues that I own and that I'm able to download. So if I want to get a new issue, I just click that download button. We've added a fun little loading bar here so you can see exactly how big that issue is, how long you're going to have to wait. Of course, if you have a subscription and or if you are a subscriber as a user, these new issues will automatically download every month. As soon as it's downloaded, I can jump in and start reading it. Pop back out to that library interface. You can still archive issues that you've downloaded. Now that's even easier to figure out. You just tap the archive button. That takes it off your device, so it frees up that space for your device, and then anytime you want, you can simply re-download it. Let me jump back to the store and show you one of the other really cool features we've added in here, and that's this banner space up at the top. So, really inspired by iTunes and the great design out in the iTunes store. This is an optional banner, and this is just an image that you can create in Photoshop. It's just a PNG, and we've got the specs for it out on our site, the right size. And you can have up to 5 banners in this space that can rotate through or that the user can swipe through to advertise different things. And the point of this is really just for you to have an opportunity to call attention to some of the things that you're selling here in the store. So here I just mocked up a pretty basic banner that was advertising the subscription idea, pointing people down below here to click this buy button. But if you have a new issue out, you can really call it out here. Maybe you have a special issue. Maybe there's something relevant that's happened in the news that relates to one of your back issues and you want people to go out and download that if they haven't already. These banners, and I'll jump out into our publish space and show you how you take advantage of those. The great thing about these banners is that they can be added and changed at any time without having to do an app update. So if we go out to our Apps tab and Publish, if you're a Mag Plus user already, you recognize this interface. This is the Publish part of our system where you upload new issues, create subscriptions, send notifications to your users, and build the app itself. So we've done a little bit of reorganizing out here, so it's a little bit more straightforward. If I go out to the live settings are those things that you can change in the app without having to do an app update. So now we've set those apart so you know exactly what those things are. If I then click on the Banners tab here, you'll see I get a pretty simple interface where I can create, where I can upload the banners that I've created, and I can have anywhere, like I said, between 1 and 5 banners here. If I have more than one, they'll simply rotate through every couple of seconds. It's as simple as just uploading a PNG. If I want to take it away, I can just click Remove Banner, hit the Save button, and that'll take that banner away. And I can also link these banners to certain things. I can link them to a straight URL like popsci.com if I want to maybe advertise my website or advertise another website. I can send people out there. Those links will pop up in an in-app browser just the way that links do in your issue. I can also use this space to link to an issue. So if I'm calling out attention to the current issue we've just published and I really want to show that off and make sure people know to go and download that, I can create my beautiful banner graphic, and then in the URL space here I put in a formula that refers to that issue, and that formula is out in the manuals, which I'll show you a little later, which are available out on our site, that tell you exactly what to plug in there. But it's essentially your brand name slash issue slash what we call the GUID, which is the name of that issue file that's set here in the production tool. So you see this little GUID field. That's really the way that the system refers to that issue file. So that becomes part of the URL I plug in here. Tapping that will either take me directly to that issue if I already own it, or ask me if I do want to buy that. So let me just show you what this looks like without the banner space in, and how easy it is to change. If I click remove banner, and then hit save, it'll delete that banner out of the system. So now I don't have any. I'm going to go back out and just restart our simulator so it really triggers the app to go out and look again in the app in the server and see if anything has changed. So if I call up my space, I go to my store, now you can see that banner is gone. So the banners, we hope, will be a really great way for you to promote some of the things you're selling, in addition to this dedicated store interface here, where now people really know exactly where to go to buy new things. And again, that library is where all the things I already own live. One other thing I want to call attention to here in the menu system, another fun optional thing we've added, is this top branded bar up here. So here we've created kind of a fun one using the background that's part of the Popular Science icon out in the App Store with the Popular Science Plus logo there. But this can be anything you want it to be. This can be a simple color background. Your logo can be left, right, or center. Or you can really make a custom image up here, which is what I've done, and fill this whole space with a custom image. And that's as simple as out here in the settings as well. In the build options, you can set where you want that logo to appear, left, center, or right. And you can decide whether or not you want that banner to be on. So you don't have to use that if you don't want to. And that will only appear here in the store interface and in the library. When I go back to reading and I call up that menu system, that banner goes away. So it's not too intrusive. It just pops up when you're in that store and library. A bit of extra branding in there that you can use. Now, of course, all of the icons up in this space are fully customizable, just as they always have been in our system. So every button that you're seeing here, in addition to the background that you see here, this kind of gray gradient background, all of that can be customized when you build your app out in the published site. So if we go back to our Apps tab, you'll see there's a setting out here for navigation icons. Now you don't have to, you can just use our default ones that are there. You don't have to update all of them. But every image that will pop up at some point for the user, from the table of contents icon, bookmarks, store, etc., can all be customized. And you can customize just the icon itself, and then change the text here to be something else. And that's done out. If I go again back to the Apps tab, there's a section out here called Application Text. This is where you can customize every message that might pop up in the application for somebody. This is often used if you want to publish an app in another language, but maybe you just want the wording to be slightly different for some of these things. You can change it out here. So you'll see that some of the button things, contents, issues, etc., can all be customized out here. And we've got a little help text that tells you where exactly this message will pop up. So again, we can customize just the icon. Maybe you want something other than that little shopping cart. Maybe you want to call this shop something else. And if you really want to go nuts and customize everything, you can just make that label, that store here, part of the image that you upload to customize, and delete the text out here in the application text so that you can customize the font as well. Lots of options for customization. You can really go as deep or as shallow as you want in terms of customizing this interface to really make it look like yours. So that's the new interface that we have here, the new menu system, the customizable brand bar up at the top, and the new banners in the store. Now I'll jump in and show you a couple of other things that apply more to when you're actually building the issue. These are all really the user-facing things that they're going to see. But let's jump back out to the Reviewer app, and then we'll open up InDesign, and I'll show you some of the cool new features we have for you as creators when you're building your issues. So let me open up my InDesign. So if you've watched any of our intro webinars before, you've seen this this article here that I like to use. This is out of one of our clients, a Williams-Sonoma cookbook. I just like it because it's got a beautiful picture of food here. So one of the things that we've introduced in the system is a little more flexibility with our layers. If you've used Mag Plus at all, you know it's built on what we call a two-layer system. So if I just hit Fast Review, I'll send this out to our Reviewer app, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So now you see these two layers in play. I've got this top A layer that scrolls freely over that background image, which is our B layer. I can, as a user, anytime, double-click the screen and turn off that A layer, just see that image in the background. We've also had in the past the ability to turn off that A layer. So if I go out here and I just click No A Layer, and then let's do what I would probably do if I were designing it that way and take some of that text off of the A layer, and I'll just put it here on the B layer pinned blocks. And let's just take that away. And let's just say, now this is a pretty ugly design. You guys would of course do something much nicer. But if I turn off that A layer, now I'll hit Fast Review, and you'll see that the whole vertical is just going to move in slides. So there is no free scrolling A layer there. All I see is this whole slide, and in this case there is no page 2, so that's all I get is that full screen slide. The thing that we've added here, so that's a capability we've had before, turning off that A layer. What we've also now added is the ability to turn off the B layer. So that means that you won't have a background image there, and if you just want free scrolling content on a single layer without that double tap ability, now you can simply check the No B layer. So let me hit Fast Review, and I'll go ahead and show you what, well, now I didn't put any content on the A layer, so that's why that didn't work. So let me delete that off the B layer, go back to A layer, paste that in. Now you'll see my image won't come through here because I've got that on the B layer, but I could take that out and put it on the A layer as well and just have it behind this. But now let me hit Fast Review. So now you see that A layer content just scrolls up like this. If I double click, it doesn't do anything because there is no B layer there. So in any given vertical you're designing, you can make choices about how you want to use this layered architecture system. You can have it move in full screen slides only with that B layer only. You can have it move only in a simple free scrolling layer, and again you can have as many pages as you want, so that vertical can be as deep as you want it to be. You can still use the snapping ability so that you can make that A layer snap to a particular spot when the user scrolls it into view, or you can use both layers and have the free scrolling layer over the background image. Let me show you another sort of cool thing we've added within this one. I really like this feature. I'm just going to move this text kind of down and out of the way. One of the things that has always been really easy to do in Mag Plus is to add video and audio, and we've seen a lot of interest from folks in adding audio and MP3s into their issues for all kinds of reasons. Maybe it's a children's book where you've got an audio track of somebody reading the book out. Maybe it's a magazine like one of our great magazines, Sound and Vision, where they embed a lot of samples of the songs that they're writing about. So adding audio has always been as easy as just drawing a box of some kind. Here I'm just going to make a simple play button and then clicking this Add Audio link. That creates my hotspot where people can tap to activate that audio, and my media layers image here, or box. I go out here and check File, and I'll point to an MP3. And that's all I need to do to embed the audio. So now if somebody tapped that play area, tapped that hotspot I've created, it would play that file. What we've added is a cool function we call playlist. So let me just check this, hit Fast Review, and I'll show you what that ends up looking like. So now when I call up the when I call up the menu here, you'll see I have a new button up in my navigation called Playlist. And if I click on that, I've got that file that I just embedded. I can now play or pause directly from this menu that pops down here. So I can also play it from the play link that I put in, which I'm not seeing. Oh, because I put it on the wrong layer here. Let me go back and uncheck that, hit fast review. So the idea is you can embed audio files the way you always could before. People can play them with your dedicated play buttons here, the way they always could before. But now they can also go up and activate them through this playlist. So it really means you can create almost like a soundtrack for your issue. People can start playing something here, they can go back to the issue, browse through it, be reading things. If they want to move to another track or just pause it, they can just go right back to this playlist button and hit the pause. So we're really excited to see what people start doing with incorporating more audio and that kind of thing into their issues. Let me jump back out into our Popular Science app here and show you another feature we're pretty excited about. You'll see that when I'm in this store or library interface at any time, I can jump back to the issue that I've been reading by just clicking this Now Reading button. So that takes me, in this case, back to the help issue. But let me go into one of the full issues here. Well, maybe not that one. Well, we seem to have crashed the reviewer, so let me start that over again. As some of you who've used the simulator know, the iPad simulator is slightly more buggy than the iPad itself, so you're never quite sure what you're going to get. Let me go back out to my library space here and try reading another issue. Well, my issue is not coming up the way that I had hoped it would. Let's try downloading something else here. And actually, I can jump back into the help issue and show you what I was trying to show you here. It just won't look quite as pretty in the background. You'll notice here that one of the other things we've changed in the system is the behavior of that help menu itself. While it's downloading, let me show you that. It used to be when you clicked the help menu, it took you out of the issue you're reading and to an embedded help issue that we had. There we go. This is what I wanted to get to. So now let's say I'm a user and I'm confused about what the gestures are and how this app works. If I hit the help button, it doesn't take me out of that December issue that I was just reading. It simply pops up a help menu on top of it. Now this help menu that comes up, this help issue or help page, is still something that you design in InDesign the same way you design any vertical. So you can decide what this is going to look like. Put all your gestures and things in here that tell people how to use it. And upload it through the system when you're building the issue, just like you've always done before. The difference is now it's a single vertical that'll just pop up on top of what people are reading. When they go, okay, I understand how to use this now, they can click the close button and they're right back into that issue they were in before. So that's the new help function. But let me show you the other really cool function that we've added in here, and that's sharing. So now we've got built-in social sharing for every page in your issue. Now this is another option that can be turned on or off for the whole app. So if you don't want people to be able to share things out of your app, you can turn this off out in Publish. It's a simple checkbox. But if you have it activated, when somebody taps the share button up here, they'll have a choice of either Twitter or email. If I go ahead and click email, you'll see that it automatically pops up the email program, the iPad's email program, on top of the issue here. It includes the thumbnail or a small image of the top of that vertical I was just looking at, so it really gives people that you're sharing it to a taste of what that designed article looks like, that vertical looks like. And then the link that appears up here at the top, you can of course go in here and add whatever text you like and say, you know, check out this cool mag. But we also give you the opportunity to pre-populate the tweet or the email with a URL up here. Now in this case, this URL is going directly out to Popular Science's page in the iTunes Store, so it really entices people to go out and download that app. But let's say that this article I was trying to share lived online somewhere, and I wanted to just let people go directly to that through the web. I could put a dedicated URL in here. Once I've sent this or I've canceled out of it, I'll just go ahead and delete that. I go right back to my issue. So sharing is really very simple, and Twitter does the same thing. Twitter is now integrated directly into iOS 5, so I don't have to go out to the Twitter program. It just opens up a tweet here, attaches that same image. I can type in my message and send it off and go back to reading my issue. If I go out to publish, I'll show you where those where those sharing settings are located. And it's not in general settings where I thought it was here. Sorry, let me go back out to the apps tab. So the default, if you the default option for let me see here. Sorry, I'm just learning the new system myself. The default URL that will pop in there if you don't specify any other URL. Here's where I was looking for. Under Live Options, it's the Live Options tab that I was looking for, or that I was talking about before. So this is another thing that you can change without having to actually update your app. So you can go ahead and submit your app update and decide later that you want to add sharing to it. So as long as the sharing enabled checkbox is there, that icon will appear whenever anybody goes into the menu system. And I mentioned the customization of that URL. So the default URL, as I was saying, if you don't customize anything here, is your app's URL in the iTunes Store. So by default, it'll point people out to your app in the iTunes Store. If you want to customize something for the whole application, if you want that default URL to be something else, maybe you want it to be your website instead, you always want to point people out there, you can just enter it here, and that'll become the default URL. Now there's another place that you can set an article-specific URL. So as I mentioned, if let's say that article lived online, and you wanted to point people directly to its page out on your website, back here in the plugin, there's now a new feature here called sharing. And if I check that box, that allows me to enter in a dedicated URL here. So now if I put popsci.com/recipe, actually I should put in the HTTP, popsci.com/recipe. Now if I went to share this page, this is the URL that would appear in my email when I go to share it with people. So lots of flexibility around sharing. You can customize per vertical, you can customize for a default app-wide URL, or you can turn it off entirely. So Facebook and email sharing in there as well. So let me jump back out to the sim and show you. I think that covers about everything that we've got out here in the simulator now. So I just want to mention quickly, in addition to these new features, how you go about upgrading and some of the new pricing that we have as well. So if you're a current MagPlus user and you're using the old tools, you can just go out to magplus.com and go through the same download process that you've done before to download the tools. You'll see a big download tools button there. Click that, sign in with your current account, and download a new bundle. We've also recorded a new video that shows you how to install them. If you've got tools on your excuse me, on your computer already, you need to delete the ones that are there, uninstall everything. So just take your plugin folder you put in there before and trash that. Take your MagPlus production app and trash that, then install the new ones. We've also added an installer, so it makes the whole installation process easier. Now when you download the tools, you'll get a dedicated installer. You can double click, it'll walk you right through the process and put everything where it needs to be on your computer, so you don't have to move those folders around and drag it into the right place anymore. It'll all happen automatically. Finally, I just want to talk about some of the new pricing that we've rolled out with this new update this week. So our existing model still exists, and for any of you that are current customers, your current pricing doesn't change at all. There's no change to your contract. That's all still in place. And that same model we've always had, where it's a $2,500 app build fee when you want to start publishing into the store, with 5 months of free publishing, and then a $500 publish fee after that, only in the months you publish. That still applies. But that's now our middle model. We've also introduced a really low-cost way to get into the store with what we call our single issue model. So we call that now MagPlus Go, and it's $199. So you've got an idea for an issue or a magazine or a catalog or something you want to bring live, you want to publish it out in the iTunes store, whether it's free or paid, it's entirely up to you. For $199, you can get your own custom branded reader app. And the only thing that that app won't have that the one we're looking at here that our current apps have is that store and library, because it's going to be a dedicated single issue app. It's essentially a vehicle just for delivering that one issue through. If you want to see an example of one of those single issue apps and how that works, we've actually got a pretty amazing free one out in the store, and I'll just pop out into iTunes here and bring that one up. We did a special issue with American Photo Magazine last fall around the photographers of 9/11 and the photos of 9/11, and the photographers who took them telling the stories of those photographs in their own language. It's a really beautiful app. It's a free app. There's some donate buttons in there for some of the 9/11 charities. But if you want to get a taste of what that single issue app feels like, go check out this app out in the iTunes store. And you'll see that when you download the app, it automatically downloads that single embedded issue, and there's just no store or library interface because you don't have multiple issues. So that's $199, really low cost, really easy to jump in and start getting things out into the iTunes store and trying them. Now let's say you do that, you're really happy with what you've done, and you want to publish some more issues through to it. You can upgrade any time to that second level, that $2,500 app. And what that gets you is a store and a library interface, as well as some of our other functions like the built-in marketing tools like Tapjoy and AdMob, our analytics that are built in as well, Omniture, Flurry, or Localytics, Apparator, which is some code that pops up in the app and reminds people to go out to the iTunes store and rate it if they like it. All of those marketing and analytics features, as well as the store and the library, are what come in that $2,500 app. So anytime you want, you can upgrade that $200 app to the next level. We'll even knock $200 off of that price, so it's a $2,300 upgrade. Finally, we've introduced a top level for those of you that are really excited about publishing in this new space and really want to launch a whole bunch of apps, try a bunch of things. There's now a top level we call Mag Plus Lead, and it's a single fixed fee, $3,000 a month, and for that you can build as many apps as you want for your brands and publish as many issues as you want, and there are no additional fees on it. It also includes some of our services and some of our creative help desk. Some of you have already used this. You know, you can email our support team or our creative directors here and ask creative questions or ask how to better use the tools. That's included in that $3,000 a month Mag Plus Lead package, as well as a go live assistance. So if it's your first time getting things out into the App Store and you want a little help with your developer account, and that thing will help there as well. It's really an all-inclusive, become your own publishing mogul package for a single fixed fee, so you know exactly how much you're investing in it, and you can go out and publish your apps and hopefully make $1 million. So I think that about covers everything we wanted to talk about today. If you had a little trouble getting in at the beginning or you jumped out during it, this webinar, just like all of our webinars, are available out on our website. So we've done a couple in the past that are a real intro to the system that show you how to use the tools and how to really get going from zero to publishing. So you can go out and watch those as well. And we've also got a schedule out there of the webinars we've got coming up. So you can go out and check that out, and we'll dive a little deeper into some of these specific functions, HTML and video and use of the layers and some of those things in some future webinars. So thanks so much for listening in. Go out to magplus.com and check out the new options. Go out and upgrade your tools and start building some cool stuff, and we'll talk to you next time.